Hi folks, let me show you this historical map, very old, territorial growth of the city of Denver. Now this is wonderful because of several reasons. Number one, it shows how important the science of surveying is, not just in the past, but today also. But let's just talk about the past for a moment. Laying out villages out, in this case, on the high plains of Colorado, according to the public land survey system. Very important. In historical Denver, there was these three communities: Denver, Auraria, and something called Highland, which actually doesn't exist anymore. Auraria, that name still shows up in the Auraria campus and some other place markings on the landscape, but by and large, all of this area right in here is Denver. Now, what are these numbers on here? This is the township and range system. So you've got Township 3 South, Township 4 South, and then these section lines, which are 1 square mile each. So if someone says, well, you know, that public land survey system was really instrumental in laying out even current day features on the landscape that humans have built, well, they're exactly right. The public land survey system was instrumental in many parts of the United States. In fact, most of the United States, from Ohio on west, with the exception of Texas, cities were laid out, land was divided and sold for individuals, homesteaders, from the federal government, and was all laid out according to PLSS. Another nice thing about these maps is that it shows you how important lot lines were and still are. Oftentimes lot lines have become our modern day streets because the streets were often blazed or laid down at the intersection of these lot lines. Let's take one more final look at this. City engineers, see? It's all tied to surveying, engineering, so mapping, cartography is very much rooted in geodesy and engineering. Very cool. Look at this. December 31, 1892. Now, this is just grand. And someone has shaded these polygons as well. Probably by hand, maybe with some sort of film as well, and then reproduced onto this parchment type of paper. But map showing territorial growth of the city of Denver by the city engineer. Late 19th century, 1892 to be specific. Take a look at historical maps. They tell you a lot, and you can use many of them in teaching about boundaries, about the importance of surveying, about the physical landscape and the cultural landscape, and why cities grew and where they grew from. Why was Denver, for example, platted on the intersection of these two creeks, Cherry Creek and the South Platte? They're not very big in the case of the high plains of Colorado. It's a arid area. But why was the city platted right there? Well, this is where those gold nuggets were originally found. There's gold in them there hills. So these were the nuggets that were washed down from the mountains of Colorado and started the big gold rush in the 1860s in Colorado, and that's why Denver is located where it is, because that's where those first nuggets were found, and that was the intersection of those two creeks. Water is very important then and now in many semi-arid landscapes around the world, and actually everywhere around the world, water has been key to settlement. So this was a logical place for the town and eventual city of Denver at the intersection of these two creeks. Well, thanks for being with me as we examine these historical maps.